Where's the music? The music.
Let the music play. We won't get away.
Beast.
It actually worked this time. Thank God. Thank you, Lord. It worked.
Hello.
Good. Wait, hold on. Good evening and welcome to the Sabby and Jaybe Show live on Revolutionary Blackout Network. The Sabby and Jaybe Show is live every single Thursday at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
That's JB's radio voice.
Yes, this is my radio voice. It's good to see you, Sabby, on this beautiful Thursday evening, the 27th of April, 2023.
Greetings. Can you believe it's almost May?
It's gonna be May. I'm sorry. I had to do it.
Wait, I have to show it to the people. I have to share my screen. I have to do it. I have to at least say it.
Okay.
It's gonna be May. He does say it that way. May. It's gonna be May. Every little thing I do
Dun, dun, doesn't seem enough for you.
for you.
You don't want to lose it again.
I'm not like them. Baby, when you finally get to find somebody, guess what?
It's gonna be
May. That's how you know he's from the South. That's how you know. It's not, me. It's going to be me. It's going to be May.
May. Good to see you, everybody, on this beautiful Thursday on the Sabby and Jaybe Show here on Revolutionary Blackout Network. Just to let you guys know, you can also find Sabby on her show on 6 p.m. Eastern time on RBN on Fridays, but it won't be 6 p.m. Eastern tomorrow.
Right. Right. Tomorrow I'm going live on RBN at 2 p.m. because I have a guest, and it'll be a really good conversation. I think you're definitely going to want to tune in for that. But Lucy's going to be here from Indie News Network, and her and actually Roger Meadows have a strategy that they have actually, mapped out, and that they're trying to get more people on board for in reference to electoral politics. So we're going to break all that down.
Okay, cool. All right, so be sure to be there or be square at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Also, you have your stream going on tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern as well.
Yep.
Okay, so be sure to do that, to tune in after the stream. As for me, then you guys can catch me on the JB Show on Sundays at 1 p.m. Eastern, and you can catch me on my typical streaming day on Tuesdays at 2. I do have a special stream coming out tomorrow evening, and I'll let you guys know who I will have been talking to right before the show ends tonight, so that I can cover everybody, so I can give that announcement. But
I know who it is.
Yeah, some people already know because they already went to my channel and they've seen, the thumbnail and it's already up. But yeah, I'll make the announcement officially a little bit later. But just to let you guys know, if you guys would like to, you guys can also go to our Substack at Revolutionary Blackout Network. There's revolutionaryblackout.substack.com. And if you also would like to, so you guys can get email notifications. Also, thanks to patrons on Patreon, as well as members. Yes, we have $3.99 memberships. And as well as to all of you who have already liked the stream or who will like the stream eventually, because, it's us. Also, if you guys would like to, you guys can also donate to our graphics designer, Erin. We're trying to make sure that she gets what she requests as far as pay goes. So we want to make sure that she is paid what she wants. So we are asking if you would like to donate to Revolutionary Blackout. You guys can go to Venmo at Revolutionary Blackout or Cash App $ Mutual Aid Forever for Erin. So thank you so very much for that. I'm going to make this very quick. We're going to go to the people in the chat to say our hellos, and then we will get into the story for tonight. All right. By the way, if you guys have not, please make sure to go to Sabby's channel to subscribe to her channel, and you guys can go there at Sabby Sabs. And then if you guys would like to go to my channel, you guys can go to at _Jaybe Font if you guys would like to do that as well. Now, we have Bad Cookies coming in hot, saying, so is this still happening or oh man. Miguel H coming in saying peace. Sean Miller coming in saying you're. And then we also have Eric T. Red coming in saying voices on. All right. Nice. Coming in saying I'm here with Sabby and Jaybe again for a fun time. You're here for a fun time and sometimes a long time. Sometimes. Chris coming in saying hello. Is it me you're looking for? Miguel coming in with the music. Yes, coming in. We have Pachico coming in with the thumbs up. So good to see you. We have Chicago Great One saying, love Kang, love Majors as Kang. There is blatant racist hypocrisy how he's treated versus white men in Hollywood. But if he's an abuser, he has to be recast. We're going to get into that.
Yeah, we're going to talk about that.
We got to talk about it. P. Wayne Smith saying Jonathan Majors has a problem, I hear.
Yeah.
Whoever comes in and says, Jesus, JB, you could definitely be on the radio. Nice. Thank you. I wanted to be an announcer actually at one time.
Really? I could see that.
Yeah, I wanted to be an announcer, and also I wanted to do narrations for the narrations for like the Discovery Channel or something like that. That's what I wanted to do too. You
want to be like Morgan Freeman.
That's right, Subby. I wanted to be like Morgan Freeman. Absolutely. Well, now, this is quite a conundrum. The fact that you actually want me to be like Morgan Freeman. Yes. See the sprinkles. Yeah, that's me. That Cookie said Chocolate Thunder on Easy Jazz 104.7.
I can see that.
On Easy Jazz 104.7 FM. So yeah. Let me see who it's Sebastiano coming in. Good to see you, Sebastiano. I don't know what the hell's wrong. Look, I am that tired. I just Nolan says, why have Desby Washington Salt? Why he have Desby Washington Schultz haircut though? Who?
He's talking about Justin Timberlake.
Oh.
that was back like when it was cool to have like your hair look like Top Ramen. Like that was back in those.
Yeah, and
late 90s, early 2000s.
Yeah, with the frosted tips. Debbie Wasserman Schultz wearing her hair like Top Ramen with a pink suit on. She looked like shrimp flavored Top Ramen. Shrimp flavor! Aberdeen 71, thank you so much for the super sticker. So good to see you all up in here. We got Casey coming in hot. Good to see you, Casey. All right, and who else? I gotta do a couple more. Tiberius Monk coming in. Good to see you. And yes, I'm doing all right. We also have Saul coming in saying, can only imagine how much more lit Sabby would be if she be having me rolling on the floor laughing. Sorry, I had to do it like that. Just, because we're on YouTube, people. We can only say so much. But
Eric said, drive it, Miss Sabby. See, we're in a silly mood today. You guys.
I don't know. But that was a good one, Eric. That was a good one. Tiberius Monk, thank you so much for the super chat. DJ Jaybe out here with that soulful voice. Thank you so much. Smoke the Guitar says Sammy Hagar has ramen noodles. What the hell? You guys are hilarious this evening. Gamer for Life, good to see you. And Matt John, good to see you as well. Okay, let me get to y'all not let me get to this story, but it's fun. All right, so Jonathan Majors and David Choe. Boy, this is what we're going to be talking about this evening. This is an interesting story. That's why we basically have, major beef. Major's beef, because part of a lot of people, especially a lot of Black people, are calling BS. They're basically saying that there is some double standards going on,
right?
Between people like David and Jonathan. So that's interesting. Biblical names, and they're all both around each other, David and Jonathan. Anyway, so I'm going to go first to this. I'm going to go first to this article. Which one should I do first? I have a couple articles.
Let me explain to people who they are, just for people who may not be aware.
Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
So Jonathan Majors, he's the Black guy on the right on the thumbnail. Jonathan Majors is an actor. Most recently, you probably saw him in the new Ant-Man movie as Kang. He also appeared in Loki. So if you have Disney Plus and you watch the Loki series, he appeared in that last season. That was actually the
final episode.
I don't want to give too much away, but anyway, just know that he appeared. He was also a character in Loki. He's also in the new Creed movie, Creed 3, and David Choe he's also an actor. He's in the show on Netflix called Beef, which is a really, really good show. I think it's one of the best shows on Netflix right now. So It's how I found out about this. I actually recommended beef to people on Twitter, and somebody contacted me and said, "Did you know this about David Choe?" Now, he doesn't have a main part in that show. He's not like the main character. He's a supporting role, but this was pretty interesting to me.
Mm-hmm. And David Choe has made numerous appearances on Joe Rogan as well. A lot of people don't know. Mm-hmm. So to start off with, which one should I start off with? David Choe or Jonathan Majors? Which one you want?
Probably start off with Jonathan first, and then we can compare the two.
Okay. All right. So I'm going to start off with this. This is out of TMZ, and this is was shown a few weeks ago. So this is actually technically the second story out of it. But this says Jonathan Majors' lawyer shows text from alleged victim, says woman admitted fault. So it says attorney says she has receipts regarding the assault claims against her client, text in which the alleged victim admits she's to blame and says she doesn't want the actor prosecuted. So the backstory about this is that Jonathan Majors was arrested on. What in the world did I just do? Sorry. Jonathan Majors was arrested on suspicion of basically a domestic violence against his girlfriend. And so because of that, then as a procedure that the police officers would do is that they would, detain him and handcuff him and put him under arrest. And so this wasn't looking very good for Jonathan Majors, making him out to seem like he was, a serial abuser.
Right.
And so she, went to the hospital. And so his lawyers put out some text messages right after. It was a few days right after, to try to clear his name. But just to let you guys know, the text messages actually do not bode well for Jonathan Majors at all.
No, this actually made things worse, in my opinion.
It did. Yeah, I think so too. Excuse me. So it starts off, says Majors' lawyer, Priya Chaudhry, tells TMZ the woman in question sent a few texts to the Creed 3 actor hours after his arrest last weekend, admitting that she was the one who used physical force against him. And so if you can see, let me see if this will allow me. So let me see if I can enlarge this. Can I enlarge this? Yes. Okay, good. So if you see it, it says there's no note, just knowing what happened. The response says, do you leave the keys? Goodbye, blank, to the person. Then this person says, let me know you're okay when you get this. They assured me that you won't be charged. They said that they had to arrest you as protocol when they saw the injuries on me and they knew we had a fight. I am so angry that they did, and I'm sorry you're in this position. We'll make sure nothing happens about this. I told them it was my fault for trying to grab your phone. I only just got out of the hospital. Just call me when you are out. And then she continues. She says, I love you. Says they just called again to check on me, and I reiterated how this was not an attack, and they do not have my blessing on any charges being placed. I read the paper they gave me about strangulation, and I said point blank, this did not occur and should be removed immediately. The judge is definitely going to be told this. She ensured this to me. I know you have the best team and there's nothing to worry about. I just want you to know that I'm doing all I can my end. I also said to tell the judge to know that the origin of the call was to do with me collapsing and passing out and your worry as my partner due to our communication prior. Out of care. She promised all will be relayed. What does this sound like to you, Sabby?
It sounds like a cover up to me, like she's trying to protect him.
Yeah. unfortunately, this sounds like an abuse victim that's covering up for, the person who abused her. And a lot of times with a lot of people, especially a lot of women, this is not exclusively towards women, but a lot of them will, if they suffer at the hands of their abuser, they will try to protect the person who abused them. And so releasing these text messages actually made his case worse.
Yeah, I just want to add for people who are not aware, even if the victim calls the police theirself, it is not uncommon for them to then contact the police again and retract their statement and to tell them that, no, that's not what happened. It was an accident. He didn't really mean it, that kind of thing. Like, that's not uncommon.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So we have to keep that in mind too. And so, gosh, it's really not looking good for this dude.
No.
And, yeah. So it continues, says in the text, Chaudhry claims the woman sent how angry she was Jonathan had been handcuffed, and she adds, "We'll make sure nothing happens about this. I told him it was my fault for grabbing your phone." The text exchange continued hours later, the woman reiterating she's pushing hard to make sure the DA doesn't charge Jonathan for the incident. Chaudhry says that she has turned these texts over to law enforcement. As reported, Majors was arrested for misdemeanor assault, aggravated harassment, attempted assault, and harassment after the woman allegedly saw another woman texting him and tried to sneak a peek at his phone.
Yep.
Because Chaudhry told us Sunday that she was already working hard to gather evidence disproving claims, which seem to include these texts, and believes that there is also video footage from inside the vehicle where the alleged incident went down that will clear Majors. So, yeah.
I think that what people have to know, because in the beginning he said, he wasn't at fault.
Mm-hmm.
And I want people to understand that the police can pull your text messages. So, sometimes people make these statements and they don't think about that.
Yeah.
They think because it's on their phone that the police aren't going to see that, but they can still pull that information.
Mm-hmm.
So just keep that in mind.
Mm-hmm. And so let's juxtapose that with what transpired with David Choe from the show Beef and see what is going on with him. So this is out of BuzzFeed News, which is kind of funny because, BuzzFeed no longer, they're obsolete now. But this is out of BuzzFeed News. It says Beef actor David Choe is being called out for seemingly describing, I don't even know if I can say that word.
Don't say it on here.
Assaulting a massage therapist in a resurfaced interview. As many Twitter users are expressing shock and frustration towards the casting decision, calling out Netflix and A24 for hiring the controversial graffiti artist. So, David Choe, who stars in Netflix and A24's viral show Beef, is facing online backlash after Twitter users resurfaced a podcast from 2014 in which he seems to explicitly describe assaulting a massage therapist. You guys can actually see the word. As Choe refuted the outcry, and he released a statement in 2014 declaring that he was not pissed and that his comments were just bad storytelling. Quote, Beef, which was released last Thursday, has captured the public's attention and received a 98% on Rotten Tomatoes. But many have called out the choice to cast graffiti artist Choe, who called himself a successful artist, on the podcast he co-hosted with Asa Akira, DVD Asa, in 2014. Investigative journalist Aura Bogado brought the clip to light again after she shared with writer Melissa Stetton's clip of the now deleted interview on Thursday. Bogado tweeted the video and said, according to his own telling, the woman David Choe assaulted is black. He describes himself as a successful artist. Sorry, go ahead, Sabby.
Oh no, I was just saying, yep. That's another thing that people are not too happy about.
Mm-hmm. It continues, says, Choe did not immediately respond to BuzzFeed's news request for comment in the conversation between Choe and co-host Asa Akira. He recounted a story about getting a massage from a woman named Rose, pleasuring himself in front of her and forcing her to perform fellatio on him until he climaxed. I'm trying to be very careful. Quote, "You are basically telling us that you're a bist now. The only way to get is," Kira said in the episode, and Choe says, "Yeah." I actually did see that part in the video, but apparently, according to that clip, Choe is actually copyright claiming that clip, so it gets taken down. So yeah. Akira did not respond for requests for comment by BuzzFeed. The clip made its way back to Twitter this week after the release of Beef. And then you have different people on Twitter actually expressing their outrage about it. When the podcast first released, Choe responded to the immediate outrage, claiming that the story was a fabrication and not a representation of his reality. He says that is not what he is. He says he thinks those type of people should be done to them the same way and murdered. Choe wrote on his 2014 statement. And his co-stars, as others have pointed out, that stars Ali Wong and Steven Yeun, who creator star Lee Sung-jin had said were the reason Choe was cast. Quote, "I texted Steven and Ali and asked, hey, do you think David would ever act?" End quote. Lee told the Today Show last Thursday, quote, "If they knew about this, I'm going to need them to explain," and quote, a Twitter user wrote. So,
yep.
This is, yeah.
I have a video for this too.
Oh, you do? Okay.
Yeah, I have a video for this that breaks it down a little bit more, because now, for people who are not aware, Ali Wong, you might be familiar with her from other like Netflix movies and shows. She was in the movie Always Be My Maybe, which was also really popular. I believe she's a comedian as well, but some of the actors that were, a part of Beef with him have come to his defense. So I want to go ahead and share this video here, and we'll pause in between as well, JB, because there's a lot said here, because it's like it's a show, and like, should the show be punished because of what he did? So hold on one second. This just played on its own for some weird reason. Okay.
Actor David Choe cancelled after a clip of him confessing to have raped a woman resurfaced. The video was taken from a 2014 interview where Choe went on to admit that he is a rapist, and a successful one at that.
You're basically telling us that you're a rapist now, and the only way to get your is rape.
Yeah.
What does she look like?
So that piece right there, this podcast, like if you try to find this show now, it's gone. So apparently he asked them to take it down.
Mm-hmm.
But, this person was able to get it. Let me just fast forward a little bit here. Mm-hmm. So you can see the reactions from the cast.
The clip was uploaded on Twitter by investigative journalist Aura Bogado, but she alleges that Choe wrote to Twitter to get the clip taken down on copyright grounds. Many have now started a campaign to get him cancelled, while others are asking that Beef gets boycotted. Now, these have not stopped just at Choe, but have gone ahead to involve the showrunners, Ali Wong and Steven Yeun. Now, these are being involved because they are not just cast members on the show, but also friends in real life with Choe, and this explains how he got casted. So they are being blamed for letting Choe get casted on the show while they were aware about these rape confessions.
So this is the question that a lot of people had, like, did they know? And according to this, they did know. They knew before he was cast on the show, but also that they're all friends in real life. It's not like, they were just actors that were part of the show. They're all friends in real life as well. Mm. How do you feel about that, JB?
That's it's like you knew about this, and it's like obviously you would know this would surface. So
Yep.
it's like it why would you put your show at this much risk, especially now that since it's a hit show?
Very, very popular show. Now, for people who are not aware who's who, let me just go back to the picture so I can show people who's who. So this gentleman right here on the left, that is Yen, I believe that's how you pronounce his last name. He's one of the main characters. This is David Choe right here.
Mm-hmm.
And then this is Ali Wong. And I actually don't know this guy's name. But anywho, the stars of the show is Ali Wong and Steven Yen. So let me just fast forward here a little bit to go back to where we were. Because like I said, like this is just, I don't know, man.
Mm-hmm.
In 2017, however, Choe apologized for his statements while claiming that he never did any of the things that he said. This is the apology. How does one apologize for a lifetime of doing wrong? Through my past 3 years of recovery and rehabilitation, I have attempted to answer that question through action and understanding. In my life, I've struggled deeply with an unnatural amount of hatred that I've had towards myself. Most of my life, I have been a scared, hurt, shame-filled person trying to mask my insecurities with false confidence and an outwardly negative behavior to validate myself as worthy. In a 2014 episode of DVDASA, I relayed a story simply for shock value that made it seem as if I had sexually violated a woman. Though I said those words, I did not commit those actions. It did.
So now he's coming forward. Now he's saying that he made that whole story up.
Look, I'll put it this way. This is why this is stuff you don't joke about.
No, this will come back and bite you. Like, again, that episode happened in 2017, that podcast episode, but it has, resurfaced since beef like took off. And you just don't joke about things like that.
Mm-hmm. And even back then, you didn't joke about stuff like that. Like, that was just, like you said, for shock value. And the thing is that, as, we grow in our understanding as a species when it comes to things like this, especially post Me Too era, this stuff's going to bite you back. And so when people back then said, yeah, this isn't something that you joke about. Yeah, that was great advice that he should have heeded to back then. Because we're talking about 9 years ago.
Right. Hugo said, yeah, he is crazy like that. You don't joke about things like that, especially the fact that he was on a podcast, making those statements. But the problem, this is a long apology here, but the problem that people have is that people are upset because they feel like David Choe is not being punished in the industry, but Jonathan Majors is. So for those who are not aware, Jonathan Majors has lost sponsorships, sponsors that he's had. It sounds like, we don't know for sure, but it sounds like he may be recast as a part of the Marvel series for his role as Kang.
Mm-hmm.
So people are asking, like, why is David Choe not being punished? Whether he made up the story or not, they feel like he should have never even done that. They feel like there's no accountability when it comes to David Choe, and they feel like Jonathan Majors is being treated harsher.
Yeah, this is actually from Terrain Walker on Twitter. Terrain Walker says this is so he's responding to someone, and this person says, Why is it that an Asian actor from Beef getting no media coverage and almost no Twitter outrage for saying that he was a black woman, yet y'all act like Jonathan Majors is the Satan for allegedly hitting a white woman who isn't even making that claim anymore? Funny. Now, I will push back against this person saying that, you know, a lot of victims will retract their claims, you know, out of either fear or, you know, a misplaced guilt. But we don't know if Jonathan Majors is actually guilty or not. We haven't, you know, that still has to play out. But the double standard is pretty apparent. And then Terrain Walker responds and says, "This is an excellent question. Why isn't David Choe getting the same level of scrutiny as Jonathan Majors?" Which I say, you know, keep that. If you're going to put that same scrutiny on Jonathan Majors, then keep that same energy with David Choe.
Right. And thank you for mentioning this, all one same, because I was going to bring him up too. Ezra Miller, who's also another actor. I don't know if people are familiar with what happened with him. Allegedly abducted a minor.
Mm-hmm.
And he is the Flash for the new DC Flash movie. He is playing the Flash. Now, there's the whole other thing with that. I don't understand why they chose him to begin with instead of the guy who already plays the Flash on TV. Like, why didn't they pick like Grant Gustin for that? But that's another thing. People are asking, like, why is Ezra Miller still allowed to make movies considering what just happened with him and his charges?
Yeah, Ezra Miller should also face even stronger scrutiny because of the transgressions that they have committed, especially resulting in a minor basically kidnapping. Like,
right.
Why in the world are you still in this movie?
Right. And not only that, but people have to understand when it comes to minors, there is no statute of limitations.
Mm-hmm.
So even if it happened years ago, if it happened when they were a minor, they can still come forward about that information as an adult. So just keep that in mind. But it seems like he's not being penalized. The jamming is correct. Why hasn't Dana White lost his position for that matter? We talked about that, JB. Remember when it happened?
Yeah, we did. We talked about Dana White not getting not stepping down from UFC. I think we were talking about Dana White and oh my god, the basketball player. Oh my goodness, I'm forgetting names today.
I forget the basketball player, but we were comparing him to someone else. I remember that.
Yeah. He had shared a link online about people being
shoot, I can see his name, his face. Kyrie Irving.
Kyrie Irving, yes.
Yep.
So yeah, so you know, Kyrie Irving shares a tweet, and he gets vilified through and through, and yet people like Dana White get a free pass. Or then you know you can talk about Brett Favre. You know, Brett Favre steals millions of dollars away from, you know, poor people in Mississippi, and you don't hear a peep about it, and yet you know this happens. So this is just another story about the double standard that exists, you know, within our society. It's not just Hollywood, it's throughout our society, including in the criminal justice system that we see all the time.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. Last I saw, though, it doesn't look too good for Jonathan Majors.
No. However, I came across this story as well, and I'm going to share this really quick. Actually,
hi, Kit.
Hey, Kit, good to see you. Let's go over some of the other things that happen. So this is from CBR.com. Says Jonathan Majors' next movie dropped from CinemaCon slate. so he will not be able to attend CinemaCon. So he's been dropped from that. And then another, and then it was brought out in the news that his management company dropped him. So his managers said, "We quit." So his managers quit. So he no longer is being managed at this point in time. That so far as we know. And then this story came out here. This is out of Variety. It says Jonathan Majors' issues worsen as more alleged abuse victims cooperate with DA's office. Oh boy. It says as Jonathan Majors prepares for a May 8 court appearance on domestic violence charges, his PR problems are about to get bigger. Sources familiar with the matter tell Variety that multiple alleged abuse victims of Majors have come forward following his March arrest and are cooperating with Manhattan District Attorney's Office. The prospect of more women waiting in the wings would mark a dramatic turn in the case and comes on the heels of major publicists and management firm cutting ties with the embattled actor earlier this week. The DA declined comment.
It's interesting. The DA declined comment.
Yeah, that's weird, right? His lawyer, Priya Chaudhry, said Jonathan Majors is innocent and has not abused anyone. We have provided irrefutable evidence to the district attorney that the charges are false. We are confident that he will be fully exonerated. Says the Creed 3 star was arrested on March 23rd in the Chelsea neighborhood in Manhattan on charges of strangulation, assault, and harassment. At the time, the NYPD spokesperson said in the statement that a 30-year-old woman told police that she had been assaulted by Majors, who's 33. You don't look 33. I'm sorry. And that she sustained minor injuries to her head and neck and was removed to an area hospital in stable condition. But Chaudhry mounted an immediate and aggressive response, insisting that the actor is provably the victim of an altercation with a woman he knows, and suggested the woman was having an emotional crisis. A source familiar with the chronology of the events says the attorney released the statement while he was still behind bars.
Yep.
Yeah. So, and this guy he just popped up and he came everywhere.
Yes.
Yeah. And nothing out of Disney yet. So a lot of people are waiting on what Disney's going to do. Some people are looking at Warner Brothers and how they were treating Ezra Miller and how Ezra Miller basically got a pass. In my view, he got a pass. And they're wondering if Disney will do the same thing for Jonathan Majors. I am of the opinion if Jonathan Majors actually is guilty, then neither him nor Ezra Miller should get a pass, nor David Choe. They all should not get passes at all because of the things that they have done. David Choe, though, the thing is that he said he did, but then he's like, oh, well, I was just kidding. And when somebody's like, oh, I did this really bad thing, it's like, just kidding. It's like, were you kidding? Because now you put that on yourself.
He was just on Joe Rogan recently, actually. Like this week recently. He was just on Joe Rogan. Optimism of the Will. How long did people know about Weinstein and Cosby? For decades. For decades. Because other actors and other comedians came forward after he was arrested and said they knew that that they had heard that Bill Cosby was drugging women back in the 70s.
Yeah.
It was known.
Mm-hmm. It was so known that even Ricky Gervais said it at the Golden Globe. Was it the Golden Globes or Screen Actors Guild? I can't remember.
One of them.
Yeah, but it was an award show and he was hosting and he actually made the joke about Harvey Weinstein, and everybody in the crowd went ooh because they knew it was true. It was an open secret, and so a lot of people already knew about Harvey Weinstein.
Yep.
Yeah.
But those people have a lot of money and a lot of power.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And I bet you Oprah knew about him too.
Listen, some of Oprah's friends are a little bit questionable, JB.
Yeah.
Dr. Oz, Dr. Phil.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Kit says there's a whole culture and madness in Hollywood. There really is. And Corey Feldman tried to come clean about this many years ago, and people didn't believe him.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Didn't he write a book and name names?
Mm-hmm.
Is that book out? I don't remember if that book actually came out.
I thought it was out. I have to double check.
Yeah. So yeah, but then this happened, and I'm going to share this article as well. So you guys are gonna this. It's just so many twists and turns in the story. Make sure this is it's our 150. Okay.
That book came out in 2013.
Okay.
Yeah.
It says Jonathan made. Oh my goodness, get out of my face. Jonathan Majors, alleged DV victim, partying in club. New video of night of alleged incident. So now it says we know Jonathan Majors, alleged domestic violence victim, was out partying after the incident in question. But now there's video that appears to support Majors' team. She was just fine. Let me see. It says TMZ has obtained security footage that was released in a filing last week by his legal team, where they submitted still images that they argued prove their case, namely that his woman was not assaulted by Majors at all, and that this whole thing is a false witch hunt.
Can we see the picture, JB? So that's her right there, circled.
Yeah.
And if you go back up to the top of the article, the video just auto plays. I want people to see so that people realize that this isn't just a right there. Yeah, if you press play. We don't need the sound. We just need. So that's her right there. Now, they said this was after the incident. There she is at the bar.
And apparently something was supposed to have been wrong with her right hand, but she's using it.
And strangled too, right?
So I don't know.
She seems to be laughing and having a good time.
And here's the thing, and I hope people don't take this the wrong way when I say this. I hope she was lying. I actually do. Because if she was lying, that means that she's physically okay, which is the main thing. And if she lied, then that means also that exonerates Jonathan Majors. So I actually hope that she was lying. I hope that this was all just a ploy because some jealousy or something. But because I don't want it to be true, because I don't want to know that she was hurt. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's the only thing, that's why I'm like, I hope she lied, but I can't pin that on her unless, all the facts bear out. So the thing is that, I don't know, man. Let me continue playing this, but
again, that's her over there at the bar.
Unless she's talking to she's talking to another guy too.
Yep.
Yeah.
Now, this was his friend or his girlfriend? I've heard both.
Allegedly, it's supposed to be his girlfriend.
Okay. Well, this is my thing too. It's like she went out to the bar after this happened. It's like, I don't.
Yeah,
Like that wasn't smart at all.
My thing though is, if something like traumatic like that happened to me, I wouldn't still be out. I would have went home already. But at the same time, I'm not a woman, so I can't say whether or not, what was going through her head if it actually did happen.
She lied to hurt him because he's cheating. If that's the case, like, for one, you don't tell that kind of lie. Like, that's not cool at all.
Because you can ruin a man's life by lying.
Yes.
Yeah.
She could have put it. You know how much danger he could have been put in?
Yeah. Yeah. But then Bling Girl says maybe shock denial. So my thing is like, but again, I want to go back to the aspect of double standards. A lot of this is coming out in articles like TMZ about Jonathan Majors, but where is the David Choe articles that are coming out about him?
They're not even talking about it.
Yeah,
I know, because when I looked it up, I didn't find much information on it.
Yeah, Netflix should honestly be in the same spot that Disney is in right now. If this, if there's any validity to what his people presuming. So I don't know.
And like I said, Ezra Miller's just walking around as happy as can be.
Yep. And Ezra Miller should not be, honestly, Ezra Miller, for what they did, they should not be in Hollywood. Not at all. Because Ezra Miller did something horrible. So yeah, exactly, Kit. Why does Ezra have a job still?
And he still does. Like, it's like I said, that movie's coming out soon. I saw the previews for it when I went to the movies to see the last Ant-Man movie. I saw the previews for that, and I'm like, oh, they still let him play that part considering what happened. This has been an issue in reference to Ezra Miller. He has a pattern. I'll show it too. I'm gonna share my screen because I want people to see this. It's not like with Ezra Miller, it's not like it was one incident. It wasn't one incident. This has been a pattern. Let me make this larger. Let me put it over here. So why is that there? Close. Okay. Look at this. Starting with March 2022. Let me make this bigger. I don't know why the font's gotta be so small. Miller was arrested and charged with disorderly conduct and harassment after an incident at a bar in Hawaii. Police said he yelled obscenities at a woman and lunged at a man. Temporary restraining order was issued against him after a couple alleged Miller entered their room and threatened them. They also alleged that Miller stole a passport and a wallet. April 2022. Weeks later, Miller was arrested for allegedly throwing a chair which hit a woman in the head after being asked to leave a private residence. Let's go on. August 2022, the actor, like this is just last year. The actor was charged over the alleged burglary of a home in Vermont. In January 2023, they pled guilty to unlawful trespass. Miller later apologized for the behavior. Let's go on. January 2023, Miller pled guilty to unlawful trespass as part of a deal. Will have to undertake random drug tests and continue seeking mental health treatment. It's just, that doesn't even get to the issue with the minor. Like Juliet said, he choked out a fan.
Wow.
So it's like some people get a pass.
Some people get it passed. And it depends on how light, how light you are, skin color. It seems like
Mel Gibson still gets a pass.
Mel Gibson still gets a pass.
And it's just crazy. He's still allowed to make movies in Hollywood.
Mm-hmm. Oh, and watch what's his face? I think the charges were dropped against him for shooting a prop gun that actually had live ammunition.
Oh, Alec Baldwin.
Yeah, Alec Baldwin. Watch Alec Baldwin, get a pass too.
Wait, so they cleared him for that?
From what I saw in the news lately, as yes.
He killed a woman.
Hang on.
I remember I covered that story when it first came out because I was like, he killed this woman. Like he shot. You're supposed to check the gun. We had a long conversation about this on Call In. But anyone who's ever handled a gun before know what are the first thing you're supposed to do? You're supposed to check the gun. And he didn't check the gun. And he shot and he killed a woman.
Mm-hmm. I'm going to show you really quick because I found the article already. But it's behind a paywall, so I have to do this thing. But so yeah, out of the LA Times says Alec Baldwin Rust case closed. Movie resumes production.
That's crazy.
Yeah, so as soon as it comes up, because it's still loading. But yeah, so Alec Baldwin was actually cleared of wrongdoing.
Why would they even continue the movie after what happened?
That's a question that I think should be asked. And I think he should be grilled over it. Because, like, why are you continuing the movie after somebody, you murdered somebody? It's not like somebody was murdered after the movie was done, and it came out.
Sweary Fairy brought up a really good one. Robert Wagner and Natalie Wood, anyone. And also Christopher Walken. We need to talk about everyone that was on that boat. And that story never made any sense to me. Natalie Wood dies, and you have Robert Wagner and Christopher Walken that were on the boat with her, and nobody saw anything. I never understood that story. That was very strange to me.
Yep. All right, so I have it. So let me share my screen really quick so you guys can see. Because I knew I saw it in the news. I'm like, this looks this is crazy. So this is how the LA Times says, but Alec Baldwin cleared for now. Prosecutors probing the new Rust information. It says New Mexico officially has closed its criminal prosecution against Alec Baldwin exactly 18 months after the actor fatally shot cinematographer on the low-budget Western movie Rust. A special prosecutor who joined the case last month on Friday submitted a one-paragraph statement to the court saying new evidence prompted the state to dismiss involuntary manslaughter charges against Baldwin. As those court papers were being processed, the 65-year-old movie star was in Montana where filming of Rust resumed this week. So
it's terrible.
Yeah. So Baldwin shot somebody. Even if it was involuntary and you didn't mean to do it, you still killed somebody. And it was still neglect because you did not check the gun and you pointed it at somebody, which even if it's a prop, you don't point a gun at somebody.
Right. Well, when this story came out, one of the things I played what the DA said, right? So they had finally interviewed the DA and the DA said, what you have to focus on was there neglect, right? So when you're looking at manslaughter, and to JB's point, yes, there was neglect. The neglect was that he did not check the gun before he pointed the gun and shot at someone. And that is gun safety standard. You were supposed to check the gun and he didn't do that. So to me, First of all, I don't think the movie should continue out of respect for that woman. And I wonder how her family feels about this.
Yeah. Bill Bradley says on Rust, a live round got used on set, which is on the prop master. I would argue that it's actually on both of them, prop master and Alec Baldwin.
Yeah, the DA blamed both. Mm-hmm. The DA blamed both. But it's both, Jay. Because see, when I covered this story, we went through all of this. Is it the actor's job to check the gun or the prop man? It was both. Because when they talk to the people on production, when they talk to the set, the DA talked to them. They explained that to the DA. Yes, this is the standard that they're supposed to follow. So he didn't follow that protocol. That's why she died.
Yeah.
So yeah, the prop man has some responsibility here, but still, Alec Baldwin was still supposed to check the gun, and that's the problem. So there was negligence there, which is why he was being charged with manslaughter.
Mm-hmm. And then on top of it, Snowy Taco, good point, says Baldwin is a producer too, so he's the boss on set.
Yep.
So yeah, and my thing is, when it comes to gun safety, you just don't point the gun at somebody unless you're absolutely sure that it's all live rounds. Like, I don't know. Unless you're absolutely sure that it's blanks and, or dummy rounds. But Bill Bradley says if you check the gun and it has dummy rounds, you won't know the difference between that and a live round. They look identical. The dummy round just has no powder.
Yeah, but according to the DA, that was not the case. Mm-hmm. That's the thing. Like, he didn't check it all, but according to the DA said there was a difference.
Mm-hmm. But my question though is, why were live rounds on set in the first place?
They never answered that question.
Live rounds shouldn't even be bought on set, let alone, like, if I'm doing a Western movie and you're using prop guns, you better not even bring a pack of live rounds at all on set.
And they mix them in. They mix them in with the dummy rounds. I'm telling you, if you look up what the DA, let me see. I'm gonna go on YouTube and try to find that statement again, because she explained it. Let me see.
Because just that alone is like, no, like, I would, like, if I were the family of the victims that were killed, I should say, then the first thing I would ask is, why did anybody permit live rounds to be brought on set?
Well, I found the response from the DA, because I want to play this again so people understand, because I said the same thing. And then when I heard the response from the DA, I was like, oh. So here's the video. Here's the response from the DA. Just a reminder, this was only like 3 months ago. It's crazy.
County Sheriff's Office, we initiated an extensive review of that, and I will say that it was a well investigated case, but we had some follow-up that we had to speak with some experts. And once we read through everything and researched the case law and the law here in New Mexico, we realized that we believe that there was probable cause to charge Alec Baldwin and Hannah Gutierrez-Reed with involuntary manslaughter. And what were some of the key pieces of evidence that you used that factored into that decision? Well, that there was such a lack of safety and safety standards on that set, that there were live rounds on set. They were mixed in with regular dummy rounds. Nobody was checking those, or at least they weren't checking them consistently. And
see what she said? She said nobody was checking them.
Mm-hmm. Also, wasn't it part of the news that the people who were supposed to be on set were the people who were supposed to be on set were union members, but because there was some type of dispute with the union, they didn't have any actual union members on set. They had people who are non-union members.
I didn't hear about that part, but I'll have to look into that. That could have been the case considering the timing during that time.
Yeah.
And then they somehow got loaded into a gun, handed off to Alec Baldwin. He didn't check it. He didn't do any of the things that he was supposed to do to make sure that he was safe or that anyone around him was safe. And then he pointed the gun at Helena Hutchins and he pulled the trigger.
You talk about the safety on the set. Was, as part of your investigation, was there one thing that was done or one thing that was said that sealed it for you that this should be prosecuted?
No, actually, I think it was the totality of the circumstances, that this was a really fast and loose set, and that nobody was doing their job. There were 3 people that if they had done their job that day, this tragedy wouldn't have happened. And that's David Halls, Hannah Gutierrez-Reed, and Alec Baldwin.
Okay, I just wanted to pause there so you guys could hear those names, because it wasn't just Alec Baldwin, but she said nobody was doing their job.
If they had just done their basic duties, we wouldn't be standing here.
Can you help our viewers understand? So the state officials did a report. It was signed by the chief medical investigator saying that there was no compelling evidence that this was intentional, right?
Right.
So help our viewers understand, if it's an accident, which most people seem to think it is, why is that a crime?
Because just because it's an accident doesn't mean that it's not criminal. Our involuntary manslaughter statute covers unintentional killings, unintentional homicides. The rest of our homicide statutes cover intentional, but unintentional means they didn't mean to do it. They didn't have the intent to kill. But it happened anyway, and it happened because of more than mere negligence, because of they didn't exercise due caution or circumspection, and that's what happened here.
And what's your response to, there might be people in Baldwin's camp who say that you were overcharging this?
Well, we disagree, and we're going to be taking that in front of a judge and allowing the judge to decide on probable cause. But we think that there is enough there, more than enough there, to move forward on these charges and possibly to get through the preliminary hearing stage and on to trial.
And can you?
So I just want to jump in really quick and talk about the negligence part really quick, because this is where I think some people were confused, because when this first was reported, people were like, well, how is it a crime if he didn't mean to do it? Nobody meant to kill her, that kind of thing. So you have to understand how negligence works. Negligence doesn't mean that you intended to do it. Negligence means that you, in some way, shape, or form, were negligent. You weren't either following protocol or etc. And that resulted in the events that happened. And I'll give an example with a car crash. This is a story that happened here in Massachusetts a couple years ago. There was an 18-year-old boy. Actually, I think he had just turned 18. He was leaving work from the grocery store. He got into his car. He was driving and he got a text message. So he looked down at his phone at the text message, and in that split second, he ran into another car. Those people died. And so even though this kid, I'll never forget this was Haverhill, Massachusetts. This kid was very young. He was about to head off to college, and they showed like the court case on local news and everything. Even though he didn't mean to hit them, he didn't do it on purpose. What they argued in court is that it was manslaughter because he was negligent. And the negligence part was the part when he looked down at his phone to look at that text message. So he was sentenced to prison. He had just turned 18. I'll never forget this because he was crying on TV on the local news. And I was just like, oh my God, this is crazy. Apologized multiple times, said that he would improve. He would never do that again. Judge was not trying to hear any of that. They were just like, look, you killed 2 people. And it would have been different if, let's say, he didn't look at his phone, right? Let's say he was just driving and he just accidentally hit them. That's a little bit different than the reason why you hit them is because you look down at your phone and you're not supposed to text and drive in Massachusetts. So they got him and they hit him with that hard. And so, yes, he has a criminal record. So people have to understand that just because I'm listening to the reporter, the questions that he was asking her, what he has to understand is that they're not saying that you did it intentionally, but your negligence was intentional in the sense that he knew that he was supposed to follow protocol and he was supposed to check that gun before he fired any round, whether it was blank or not. And she said the safety standards weren't being followed on the set. So that's what people have to understand when they say manslaughter. You know, there was a guy played for the Patriots. My husband remembers his name. There was a guy that played for the New England Patriots, and he was charged with manslaughter. He hit a guy. Again, not on purpose. Mm-hmm. Not on purpose at all. But he hit a guy and that guy died.
Wow.
So.
Yeah. And the thing is that if you know what you're supposed to do, but you don't do it, and it results in the death of somebody, you know, it's just like, you know, certain medical professionals, that they don't take certain precautions that they need to take, then if something bad happens to someone, then they could be held liable for it. They didn't mean for it to happen, but they were negligent in what they needed to do in order to follow proper protocol. And so proper protocol with driving is don't text and drive. Proper protocol with handling a prop gun on set is make sure that it doesn't have live rounds. You know, so there's just all these different things that come into play. But the thing is like we were saying earlier, is that somebody like Alec Baldwin was cleared.
Yep.
And did the studio drop him?
Nope.
You know, and so Jonathan Majors, we don't even know if he's guilty, and yet he's getting, you know, railed through because in the media. But then David Choe, he's still not hardly being talked about.
And that's the part that we really want to drive home, is that you have an actor who, like JB said, we don't even know if he's guilty. He's already been removed from deals. His sponsors have already backed out. His agent has already dropped off. But then you have people who were clearly guilty, like Alec Baldwin. Alec Baldwin still has a job in this industry. Ezra Miller still has a job in this industry. And so does David Choe.
Yep. This is also facts. Caitlyn Jenner, she was able to get off because she was equally reckless.
Yep.
And so the thing is that it's like Caitlyn Jenner, she ran into somebody. I think she hit somebody with her car, or she hit somebody's car.
Yep. I remember that. Thank you, Eric. Dante Stallworth. That's who it was. I knew it was a Patriots player. Yeah. And again, did he mean to hit that guy? No.
Yeah. That Cookie says Ray Lewis murdered someone and admitted it and never went to jail.
I don't think he admitted it.
Oh, okay.
I don't remember Ray Lewis admitting it. Okay. I remember him throwing that white suit away. Oh. Which to a sense make you look really guilty.
Ted Kennedy, anybody?
No charges. None. Went on and ran for president.
They even called him the Lion of the Senate.
Don't get me started with that story. That story gets under my skin.
Boy, I'm telling you.
And he knew exactly what he was doing at the time.
I'm telling you. So yeah, trying to think. I thought I had something else. Oh yeah, this video. I don't know. I mean, we pretty much hammered the point home. This video was just talking about the alleged what happened when they found his girlfriend in the club. So I don't know if we need to go back over that, but yeah. So there's just a lot of Heartland's Media. Hey Ted Kennedy, didn't the person named AOC intern with him?
Look, they protected, he's not alive anymore, but they protected Ted Kennedy with that one. And he turned himself in and they protected him. They covered for him.
See, Sabby, it's the macro and it's the micro. Jeez Louise. But yeah. So just a question. Actually, oh wait, I gotta get to Rockfin. Thank goodness I remembered. Oh boy, JB would have been in trouble. I would have got my ass beat. Okay. Thanks to Laura Beza for the tip on Rockfin. Laura says, "You guys are so sweet. Love your big hearts." Thank you.
Oh.
Yeah. Oh. Thanks again to Laura Beza. Keep up the fight for us working class schmoes. You're not a schmo. You guys are wonderful. Thanks for the tip, Roger. Roger says, "I wonder if police got a court order to pull text messages. Otherwise, it might not be admissible in court, seeing it be a violation of his Fourth Amendment rights." Also, I thought this was another installment of Beef, the hip-hop documentary from the early 2000s.
Oh, no.
Between rap artists and their crews. They lost everyone when they ran out of beefs and started talking about beefs between skateboard crews. Like, really? Okay. Oh my gosh.
Bad Cookies, Ray Lewis, it looks like he was fined, but he wasn't. I mean, he's still chilling, basically.
Gotcha. Kyle Jones says Jonathan Majors loves the military-industrial complex. He had a big Army commercial as soon as he got clout from the Ant-Man movie. Yeah, I heard about that. Roger says 50 Cent called Oprah out for being against black men, for accusing us for what her friends are doing. She's turning a blind eye too. In an interracial relationship with a man is black and woman is white, always know unless you're OJ, the woman always has the power. Also, speaking of Oprah's questionable friends, you forgot to mention Marianne.
Yep.
Oh my God. Kyle Jones says pay also how rich people get unaccused of something. Jeez Louise, man.
I think we have a couple super chats we didn't get to. Like Roger.
Oh, I didn't. Oh, looking forward to JB Sabby Chef. So he cooks, she eats.
Hey, I can cook. I think I'm a pretty good chef.
Look, me and Sabby talk about cooking a lot, actually.
Yes.
People don't know, man. Like, go back on Sabby's channel to when she made that pot roast. Oh my God! Look, that's what I'm saying. Easy. Don't be sleeping on Sabby's skills, man. She got them skills to pay the bills.
Tiberius.
Tiberius Monk says DJ JB out there with the soulful voice.
Here's another one.
Josh Brolin Thanos had domestic Really? No way. What?
I did not know about that one.
Me neither.
You know what made me mad about Josh Brolin?
What?
They remade this movie called Old Boy. Did you ever see this movie, Old Boy?
No.
Okay. It's like a Korean movie called Old Boy. It's a really, really good movie. Action-packed and all that jazz, right? They tried to make an American version. I hate when they do this. They make American versions of Korean movies. It sucked. And they cast Josh Brolin as Old Boy. And I was like, what the hell is this? Stop it, Hollywood. Stop trying to remake Korean movies. You really messed them up. It was terrible. Terrible.
Yeah. That is not perfectly balanced, as all things should be.
Veronica, Ali Wong. Oh, back when I was doing stand-up in the San Francisco Bay Area, she and I would be in the same lineup. She was a rising star in the San Francisco comedy community. That's interesting.
Oh, wow.
I didn't realize that.
Yeah, I'm just checking.
I'm mad at Josh Brolin.
Oh man, you know that disappoints me, man.
I'm mad at that.
Yeah, because like Josh Brolin, man, he's Thanos, man. Like one of the best villains in comic book movies. You know, he's literally one of my favorite villains of all time, besides Sephiroth. But y'all ain't ready for that one.
Well, they do have him do remakes, it seems like, because he also did he was in the remake of Amityville Horror. You remember that? Wait, was that one? No, never mind. That's Ryan Reynolds. Ryan Reynolds was in that. But Josh Brolin's dad, what's his dad's name?
I don't know.
Oh,
I don't know that.
His dad is in the original Amityville Horror. Let me see. Josh Brolin dad. James Brolin. James Brolin is in the original Amityville Horror. But they did remake that though.
Really? Yeah, I don't know because I just don't watch horror movies. I'm just not a horror movie guy. A lot of people are like, really? I'm like, yeah, no, I'm not a horror movie guy. Yeah, but the JB is a professional chef. I was entry level. Like everybody's like, oh my God, you were a chef. I'm like, not really. I never really achieved the title. I was entry level and I worked under chefs, but I never received the chef title. I mean, it would have been cool, but.
You did help me swap out stuff though. Remember you helped me when they didn't have the beefy onion pack at the supermarket. They ran out and you helped me with the substitute.
Yeah, I remember that. I mean, but that's, a lot of chefs would have been like, that's easy stuff. Like,
and Roger. Josh needs to go to prison before thinking he can play Thanos.
I mean, while we're at it, why don't we talk about Mark Wahlberg?
Wasn't going to bring that one up either.
But it makes sense, right? But yeah. So yeah, there is a lot of double standards going on, right? And there's a lot of people that actually should be in jail that aren't in jail.
Yep.
So, now, Sabs, what are you talking about tonight?
Tonight, 4 news stories. We're going to finish up Nevada ballot initiatives. I have one more question on there I got to cover. Going to talk about Kim Iverson's interview with RFK Jr. There's one question that she asked him towards the end that we're going to talk about tonight. I'm going to cover, in reference to China, the yuan has now passed the US dollar. So we're going to talk about that. For real.
No way.
For real.
Say it ain't so.
It's so.
I will not go. Turn the lights off. Carry me, huh? Da, 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 da.
Blink 182. Listen.
Small things.
I forgot what else I was going to cover. Oh, Tucker Carlson's.
Oh, no. I'm sorry.
Tucker Carlson breaks his silence, I think, is the other one. I thought I had another one too. Oh, the new Twitter files. Yes, I'm covering that tonight too. Yeah, there's another Twitter files drop. And it has to do with Jill Stein. Yes. You know, I've been following this forever, so I gotta keep it with the Twitter files.
Play some video games before bed, and I'll be listening to you at the same time. I'll be like, "Oh my God, did you hear what Sabby just said?" I'll be like, "Girl, come in here, listen." Look,
carry me home. Sorry, song's in my head now.
In 33 minutes, y'all better be on Sabby's channel, ready to watch her. And then tomorrow evening, 21. 21 what?
Yes, 21. It's number 21. Twitter Files 21.
Oh, wow. Okay. So tomorrow evening, you guys better be on my channel because at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, you're going to see my interview with Carl Jha. So we're going to be talking to him, and we're going to be talking to him about how he evolved in his political ideology. We're talking things, some questions that I've always had about China. We're talking about the United States losing its unipolarity and the United States losing its dominant hegemony, the full spectrum dominance that it has over the world. We're going to be talking about those different issues and even talking about the state of the U.S. left with Carl Jha tomorrow evening at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And I'll be having him on my channel. And I am so excited. So I can't wait for you guys to watch that.
Kim will be on with me.
Yeah.
Kim will be on with me tomorrow night.
Ooh. Yeah. Okay. All right. Yeah. So look, everybody, I hope you guys get to tune in. And if you guys would like, you guys can go to my Sabby's channel. If you guys do not know Sabby's channel, you guys can go there. It's in the link at the top of the chat. So all you guys just got to type in Sabby Sabs and then you'll find her channel. And then if you guys want mine, all you guys need to do is just type in Jaybe Font. You can find my channel, but it's literally @_JayB Font. That's my channel. So if you guys want to catch my channel, and also give us both subscribe. But while you're at it, also subscribe here to RBN and make sure to go to our Patreon if you guys would like to, and go to our Substack as well. And by the way, if you guys have not, then you guys can also help us out with the fundraiser for Aaron, our graphics designer. Go to Venmo at Revolutionary Blackout and Cash App $Mutual Aid Forever to help out with our graphics designer, because Aaron created this graphic and she did an amazing job as always. So
Aaron creates the best thumbnails. She really does.
She does. I'm low key jealous of Aaron.
I'll think my thumbnail is great. I'll think my thumbnail's great, and then I see a thumbnail from Aaron, and I'm like, oh.
Yeah.
Oh man, I see a thumbnail from Aaron, and that's a wrap.
Yep. But thanks everybody. Just making sure to check if I missed anything. Okay, nope, we haven't missed anything. All right, everybody, have yourself a good one. Sabby, we're gonna rock out to the end.
What's my age again?
21.
Now you got Blink 182 in my head.
Okay. All right. Bye, everybody. All the small things you care, true things.
Brings.